Good day mga kagugma! In today's episode, we are going to feature Miss Angelica Belarmino.
So it was a very great afternoon strolling here at Iloilo Esplanade, enjoying the breeze and the view. So it's really a nice afternoon to stroll back memory lane. So
Going back to the past.
so would you like to share a little bit of your childhood story?
Yes, Dianne. It was a really nice afternoon while we're biking. And I remember those days. No, I was born May 29th, 1996 in Manila. And my mom is a single mom that time. So I never met my biological dad. But I am blessed to have a really kind stepfather and grandfather who become my father all throughout my years now. So I was raised by my grandparents, and way back before, we are one of the families who belongs below the poverty line. So we're one of the poorest people in the Philippines. So there are times where you have an empty stomach, then you have to sleep. You have the usual sudan.
Yes.
Kagi ka sudan sang uga. The usual favorite of nga sudan naton. Asin, but during that time we also had the experience of Milo nga tag piso-piso or milk nga tag piso-piso daw na tipid-tipid para namon, and then tinapay. So it was a really hard and challenging life way back before if you're one of the poorest family in the Philippines. But my grandmother is the one who raised me and taught me to have courage, have faith. She's my moral compass. And though we are poor, she really gives importance to schooling. So I was passed on from my one aunt to another to continue schooling and spent 7 years in Manila to my different aunts, balay sa mga katiyaan ko, just to continue schooling. And then I came back here, high school, back in our hometown, the city of Lao. So it was a mixed experience of being in Manila, because Manila is survival of the fittest. You have to really survive there. You have to work really hard. And since I'm just living with my relatives, I also have to, follow the rules.
Manila is actually very competitive.
Very competitive, yes. And in order for you to survive, you really have to work hard. So there are times it's really hard life for a young child, and then you cannot play as much as you want, like the ordinary children. But I think those hardships contribute so much of what I am today, and contributes to my passion in learning, service in learning. I was actually diagnosed by my teacher before that I cannot learn.
Wow.
And it will be hard for me to learn, yes. Unofficially dyslexic, but my grandmother is very patient, and she's the one who taught me. So after kindergarten, I graduated in kinder with awards and honors, and fast forward, or one of the person who love learning. The learning from there is that we shouldn't make a anticipation or assumption that a child at a very young age would have that pessimistic future. So it was really something that you're an optimistic and supportive relatives or parents, because it matters for what would be the child would become in the future, diba?
That somewhat affected you. I mean, your learning process.
I really work hard, extra effort, extra time, extra study. Like, I appreciate my teachers supporting me to my studies. Like, they give free extra hour to teach me, especially in math. Wow. So the same in elementary, but I graduated with honors in elementary in Manila, in a competitive world in Manila. Yes, but in Manila you wouldn't really survive if you don't put extra effort in learning, because it matters really.
Well, actually, our parents and our elderly really believe that if you focus on your education, after that you will really land a good job after you graduated.
Yes, it's not just a good job, but something that you really would want to be, or you love to do. So that's why I'm a person who's really a learner, hoarder gigasang learner, no. And I'm the one who loves to learn anything out of the blue, out of the box, outside of the box. and I'm excited of what.
You're very adventurous.
Yes, I think we will have a very adventurous moments while we get to know what makes a person very inspirational.
You said earlier that you never met your biological father. So is there any part in your heart that you actually wanted to meet him because now you're successful?
Thank you. I'm humbled. I think one day I would want to find him. I mean, it's a missing piece of your life. I think everyone wanted to have that, but I come to a point that no matter what happens, or even your father didn't recognize you, there's really something in your life that the God and the universe would give you, that kind of love that you need, although it's not the thing that you expect into. Pero you'll really be given an inspiration to be more someone who can reach her maximum potential, di ba?
Yes. You studied sa Manila, di ba? So when you get back here sa Iloilo, nahirapan ka ba mag-adjust?
But I think becoming a learner and having passion from one to another, I've become a multilingual, ligay non, Filipino. So I can really, I think a week of adjustment. But on the other part of adjustment, aside from the language, is the family, because my brother and I didn't really get together. So she doesn't have an idea of, having a big sister to be with him. So the adjustment of having that gap between my age and his age is the one that is most challenging, because he thought he's just, the only son or the only child. And having me on the equation really takes a lot of adjustment, especially kung bata pa. It's really quite challenging for that. So I think that's the most challenging, because you've been missing for 7 years. And because we're poor, we cannot have phone calls. Mahal ang phone calls way back before.
Yes, it's so expensive.
Very expensive. So it's just seldom. And I'm not really close with my mom because I was raised by my grandparents. So she's not calling most of the time. That's why it's the hardest and the most challenging adjustment that we did. But the other things are sort of okay naman. You can really work it out. The learning, the language, the friends, the people, something like that.
So despite the challenges in your family, you still became an exceptional woman that you are right now?
I think I've learned kindness with my grandmother. So when you really learn kindness, you would really find a way how to work things out. Although there's a challenging journey between that. But I think that's what we need, especially in the pandemic. Be kind even if others are not. You try to be kind as long as you don't hurt others. So kung kaya mo mag-share sang kindness, why not? Right?
So is there a time before that you felt like very jealous about your other classmates? For example, you have a family gathering at school, then they have a complete family and you have your grandmother with you. So how does that make you feel?
I think I was been married with my grandmother since I was 2 years old till grade 1. But during elementary, it's the one there's really like the sadness. I used to talk to myself because relatives were not really close, so you don't have that time to really open up with them. So I just open up with me, my best friend, which is Jesus, as I call. I always talk to him because you create your own friends. But I have a best friend. Almira is my best friend in Manila, and she's the one I mostly talk to, very close. She's like a sister to me. So it was hard because you thought you should have a complete family. So as much as possible, if you're someone who would want to have your family, you make sure you will have that complete family and happy family with full of love.
Then your success is a proof that even though you did not grow up with a complete family, yet you prove to the whole universe actually, yes, that you can be successful.
Yes, those things that happens in your life are challenges that would really mold you to become better and to prepare you for what you will be in the future. I have learned that all throughout. For the 35 years of my life, I have seen that you really have to undergo that. And experience is not on a very subjective, no? So it depends on how you would react and learn from it, listen from it, and then make a really good realization and then use it to make you better. So I think all of those challenges that I had, prepares me from what I am right now.
So, let's go? Let's go!
Yes!
on our next
I think
episode.
high school is one of the leaping moment or the most growing moments of my life. That our teachers saw potential on me. Then I became the president. Then I started to do competitions. That becomes the most or the first step to really go out of the shell